I'm Mike.
And I'm Jason. And this is the Sidetracked podcast. Hey, everybody. So this is going to be something a little bit different. It's going to be longer form than what we usually do. And we're still going to record it and put it on the tubes, the YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
And we'll probably put the audio for it on iTunes and whatever else podcasty things there are. Because I know there are some.
What?
Other podcast hosting thingamajigs.
Your friends do one.
Yes. I just don't remember what it is.
You don't remember what it's called?
I mean, I know what Rogue Squadron podcast is called.
Oh.
I don't know what the other thing is called.
My friends does something. I don't know what it is.
I mean, Casey does podcasts. We know lots of people that do podcasts.
That's true.
So,
Michael, yeah. Well,
how are you?
I'm a little slow this morning.
You
I
had
drank a lot of beers yesterday. So did a beer share with Jeff and a bunch of those people. People maybe you don't know, but
A bunch of those people.
they went to
Sounds a little bit. Sorry, Jeff.
on the line. Well, they don't know Jeff, so
Mike is
it's
walking
good.
the line right now.
So they went to Vermont and got a ton of beers. Finally, we're able to nab me some Hetty.
Had you not had it before?
Never had Hetty.
Oh,
so you offered me a Hetty.
I did,
but
but
you said it's like 6 months old.
It wasn't that old, but it was old. It was probably 3 months old at the time that you were like, "Oh, you have a Hetty topper in here," and I was like, I do," but I forgot it was in there. So, you might not want to drink that one.
Amazing. So I was nervous because I've been trying to get a Hetty topper for like a year and a half now. I went to Vermont and I went on a Thursday and they said they were sold out and their shipments come on Tuesday. So
and they get like distributed to weird places different days. Yeah.
So I didn't get any, and everyone kept talking about how amazing it was, how great it was, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and it's gonna be disappointing.
That's great.
Lived up to it. It was amazing. It was so good.
I assume you've had Switchback then, if you've been to Vermont.
Yeah, we had it at the beer share.
So there was a thing, I think Brian posted it on Facebook that they just sold the shares of the brewery to the actual employees. So they all it's like
the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
of beer.
the Packers of breweries. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So lots of beers. Guts feeling it today, but it was really good.
Guts, like Nickelodeon Guts.
I heard they were coming back with that.
Everything is coming back
Actually,
in some way or another.
Just roll in. It seems like we're kind of running out of ideas, right? And we're just reusing things. Maybe lack of creativity of this generation.
I guess.
Listen, right?
I mean, think about who the actual network executives are.
True.
Like the network executives are not folks that are our age.
Yeah.
Or younger.
Well, but you think about it, like if you look,
Think of
Silicon
like
Valley,
50 and 60-year-old people.
How old is Mark Zuckerberg, right?
I mean, he's not that old, but he's also not in charge of what goes on television.
I know that, but I can't imagine what the average exec is for.
I would imagine
company. Well, I guess NBC TV shows, yeah.
Yeah, they're all real.
I'm thinking
that's like old media.
Yeah,
like they're
it's not
all
like Silicon Valley, new tech.
Yeah, it's different.
You're right.
But anyway, generations is something we wanted to talk about.
So
today.
we came across. So most of you probably heard that millennials have taken over, and they're the largest generation right now. They're the largest voting bloc for a generation. They pretty much have taken over the United States. Now it just depends on what they're going to do with that
Can I
power.
just say for a minute here
that
I fucking hate the word millennial. I hate it. I hate it in my bones. I hate it so much. I don't know what it is about it, but I just and maybe it's just the fact that it's been used as a derogatory thing that people sling around for so long. But I just the first time I ever heard it, I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Well, the other name is Gen Y.
I mean, that's also stupid, but I guess it's not as stupid as millennial.
So when I thought millennials, I never considered myself a millennial.
Oh, me either. I thought it was like kids that were born in the year 2000.
Yes.
And up.
But
exactly. It doesn't break down that way, unfortunately, because our parents weren't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the breakdown is traditionalists are 1945 and before.
Born 1945 and before?
Yeah.
All right, so my parents are not
No.
traditionalists.
Baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. That's a huge block.
That is my parents.
Generation X, 65 to 76. That's like the rebellious.
That's like hippies.
Yeah.
Deadheads.
Which is funny. So they're
Not
like, when I
necessarily.
think here like X, like you think like it's like against, like
Generation
against the
X.
establishment, against media, like all that stuff. But these people were born during that time, so they weren't part of that rebellious phase.
Right. Their
By the
parents
time,
were.
yeah.
Or maybe not their parents.
No,
but,
it would be their parents.
Well, not necessarily. If they were born during Gen X, their parents. Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not them that are being rebellious against.
Right. It would have been their. You're right. It
The
would have been their
industrial-
parents. I don't know why my brain was like, no, they would have been too young. Like, no, that's not. Maybe too old.
Maybe
I
too
guess,
old.
But yeah. never mind.
So millennials, which this number blows my mind, is they have it from 1977 to 1995.
Wait, millennials?
Millennials are 77 to 95.
That's too much. That's too big of a block.
doesn't make
because I have
sense.
nothing in common with someone who was born in 1977
Yeah.
or 5. Did you say
Seven.
Yeah, to 95.
95.
I'm trying to think of how old is someone who was born in 77? They're almost 50, right?
Yeah.
No, because this is a 7, so they would be.
Oh.
No, they would be 50, wouldn't they? 77, 87, 97.
2007, they'd be 30.
2017.
So the 40s.
So they're 50. They are 50 this year. In 2017. 77,
to 2000.
77,
Yeah.
87, 97, 2007,
Yes.
2017.
50.
So I have nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing.
Both my like
1950s. I'm just losing it. 50-year-olds
Yeah.
are so different than. I mean, I'm 28. You're 28,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's an enormous span. For me to be
mean,
lumped in with someone who was born.
potentially be your parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 100% could be my parents.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I thought so.
Like
I
there
thought it
are
was-
people out there that are the same generation as their parents.
Oh, yeah.
How does that work?
And I thought about, because I was like, well, it's just one website, but if you go to other websites have the same numbers. They're off like maybe a year or two, but millennials cover this huge block, and I do not understand why, because the philosophy and like ideologies
It's completely
different
Yeah,
from
like
what they believe
it's
in.
basically going a generation
That's a red scare that half of this block is born into.
Yeah, Cuban Missile Crisis, like not having the internet, cable TV not existing, computers basically not existing. Like there was not a computer in every home when these people were born.
Yeah.
Computers were still the size of my house when these people were born.
Yep. And then
So how can that be? So what's the generation after us? Does it say that?
So it's like Apple has market shares or trademarks on everything. They're called the iGen.
Are you joking?
Not joking. iGen, Gen Z, or Centennials are, which I would.
Dude,
love
I'd rather be a
I'd
Centennial.
love
That
to have
sounds awesome.
Centennials. Centennials is legit.
Centennial is an actual
That's some founding
cool
father
sounding
stuff right
thing.
there. So they're 1996 and
Millennial.
later. So
But that also is a pretty big gap right now, depending
right
on when
now,
they cut it off.
when they cut it off, it just seems like a huge block. And I don't know if they base it on like, is it based on ideology? Because it's not based on age.
It cannot be. It cannot be based on ideology.
Because so like,
What was happening in 77?
oh, it's the Red Cold War. You have the Cold War, and any idea that's what I was going to say. If it's ideology, it can't
it's
be
not even
because a lot of our generation is universal health care. You'd be arrested if you came up with that.
Exactly, in the
77.
70s. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Is it 77? That's the year Star Wars came out. Maybe that's it.
Maybe Star Wars.
Maybe
is
Star
what
Wars is the thing that
unifies
defines
us all.
our generation. If you were born in 77, you
Your love
probably
for
like Star
Ewoks
Wars.
is what defines.
Not Ewoks specifically. Ugh.
You hate Ewoks?
I don't hate Ewoks. They're certainly not the best part of the Star Wars franchise.
They're the only reason the rebels win.
They're magic rocks and sticks that happen to. Stormtroopers might as well not wear armor.
Oh yeah.
Like what has Stormtrooper armor in the history of Star Wars ever stopped?
Nothing.
Not blasters,
not.
certainly not lightsabers, not sticks, not rocks, not tree trunks. What is it for?
Tree trunks. You get hit with a tree trunk. I don't care what armor you have.
Or a lightsaber, but I already said lightsaber too. So.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally no reason to wear it.
No.
Like, I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, the people who are just listening certainly can't see it.
Can't see it.
But the people who are watching it.
You put that stormtrooper helmet
First of all,
on,
you can't see anything. And then you might as well not be wearing anything.
Yeah.
So why does it exist? Because it looks cool.
Uniformity.
I mean, yeah, then just wear a get-up.
Yeah.
It's not armor. If those things go through it. Is it? No.
No, it's
terrible. Decorative.
It's
the worst decorative armor of all time. Even samurai armor was better than stormtrooper armor. And that was like folded up paper.
Well, it was woven layer on top of layer, so
right. But this is magic compound stuff that these things are made of, and you're telling me paper is better. Yes.
Yes.
I'm telling myself.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes.
I don't know why I've said you.
Jason, I am right.
Okay. Cool. Sorry. Well, that was another thing.
So,
speaking of Star Wars, we could branch that into.
Oh, we could.
Or we could go somewhere else. It's entirely.
Well, no. So I was thinking the generation thing. The reason I was gonna.
Oh, we're not done with generations yet.
The reason
Star Wars derailed us.
The reason why I was gonna bring it up is that millennials get shit on.
The Millennial Falcon.
And now that because I was first when I realized I was part of millennials, I was like, what? We are only the way we are because the generation before us raised us.
Yes.
But now, if you look at how big this group is, our own generation raised our own philosophies.
Some of them, yeah. Like probably half, because it ends in what year does it end? 95.
Yeah.
Probably not half, but a good chunk of
yeah.
people in that generation are the same generation as their kids. So their parents influenced their own generation, which I feel like is strange.
Yeah.
But it's how long was the baby boomer? Baby
boomer.
Yeah.
Baby boomer was 46 to 64.
So that's not that long.
Yeah.
It's roughly 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So there was a good chance that your parents and the children are not going to be in the same generation in that one, right? There's like a couple of year gap where it's like feasible that it could be. But like when it's like 30 something years, it's like,
oh, this one defines a generation. A generation is a group of people born around the same time and raised around the same place. People in this birth cohort exhibit similar characteristics, preferences, and values over their lifetime. At the center of generations, we believe that generations are not a box. Instead, they are powerful clues showing where to begin connecting with and influence people of different ages. So they're saying that we have the same characteristics and preferences, which blows my mind because, we're in 88, but most of my life is the internet age, right? Like,
it's certainly computer age.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the majority of it being the internet age.
Yeah.
But like cable TV existed.
Mm-hmm.
But
I had computers in my classroom for.
Yeah. I didn't have cable when I was a kid, but like
it was
cable existed. Yeah. I had in my 5th grade class, like the colored IMAX. Do you remember like the see-through translucent colored IMAX?
No.
They were like swoopy looking. Let me bring it up. I don't know. iMac color, I don't remember what they were called.
Oh,
you remember those?
Yeah.
They were like brand new when
Yeah.
I was in, I think it was 5th grade we had them. And it was like no one was using Macs.
No.
And it was like these were like the thing that like got Apple back into the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had those.
Yep.
Like that looks like it's from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it looks like it's from the future.
Well, a little big. It's too big to be from the future.
There's going to be a resurgence of large technology.
Phones are getting bigger. They were getting small for the longest time.
TVs are getting bigger too.
Yeah.
Just not wider or deeper.
Deeper.
Fatter. Whatever. So I don't know how I feel about all that generation stuff.
I guess the thing so for the most part.
Do something loud.
What are you getting, some candy?
Yeah.
All right, well, careful for the mic.
We have
every time we do this,
there's still candies in the bottom of this. Every time we do a challenge, we keep the candy back here. Did we not even open these?
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't. Because we decided they were.
Oh, we already had
Oh,
the.
yeah, we did.
Yeah. All right, get out of here. I know I'd open those.
Sorry, that was loud.
Of course it is. It was a bag. It's like trying to open that up in a movie theater.
But they're so good.
Yeah. So millennials get so much shit for this.
Yeah.
Like being the worst generation, and why? Like seriously, what are they doing?
Well, it's like
so
baby
bad?
boomers. You ruined our Social Security by having so damn many of you
And living so long.
and living so long. But that's doctors' fault.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't like the whole millennial thing.
I hate the name.
I will firmly say that it's the worst name for anything ever.
Yeah. But
Sorry, we both butted at the same
we
time.
did. I got a news update. Just so everyone knows, Juggalo March.
We did do a video about
We
the
did do
Juggalo
a
March.
video. First, I just want to let everyone know, 216 days, 14 minutes until the march.
Oh, not even hours.
Not even hours.
Must be at noon. No.
No.
11:45. It's at 11:45 in Washington D.C. on however many days from now. That is.
Perfect. So, Jason and I, we're new to the YouTube's world, right?
Yeah, only a few months.
Yeah.
A few months old, babies.
We don't get a lot of views, but we did post this Juggalo March 2 weeks ago, right?
We did.
And I would say maybe not 30 minutes after we posted this. Now, if you search us in YouTube, you kind of have to be a little specific.
Yeah, we don't have
Yeah,
hundreds of thousands of views to like show up in your recommended stuff.
correct. So, and not only that, but I think we misspelled Juggalo. So there's no way a Juggalo would have been able to find it looking for Juggalo videos, because I think the title was spelled incorrectly. Because I think Brian pointed it out to us and you corrected it.
You're the Brian
Yeah.
or Paul. You're right. That did happen.
So there's no way.
I didn't misspell it on the actual thumbnail. So I knew how to spell it.
Yes.
I just fat fingered
So,
it.
well, this just leads to the fact that it would have been harder for you to find our video because the main title was misspelled.
We have the SEO. So I have every time we make a video. And
Yeah.
For any of you out here that don't know how this works, you put in keywords. Mm-hmm. So Juggalo would have been one of the keywords.
Yeah.
Now we don't have enough. We didn't have enough views on that video for it to like show up. I wouldn't think. Mm-hmm. But even if the title was spelled wrong, I spelled it right in the search terms.
Gotcha.
So Juggalo March,
Would've been
Juggalo,
fine.
whatever. It may have found
So-
it that way. But
40 minutes after you post this thing, we get our first. I think this is an accomplishment. I think when you get a downvote, you
did
made
get a
it.
downvote.
You've made it. So we got our first downvote.
or
Hell
dislike.
yeah.
I don't know what they call it
Yeah,
on
whatever.
YouTube.
And our first
It's pretty negative. Well,
It was
negative.
It was weird.
comment.
Like he was telling this. We're pretty sure he's a Juggalo fan.
He must have.
He must have been. But like he has a fight with himself in his comment. It was really weird. Anyways, that's not what we're gonna do. Daniel Lozano, another presumably Juggalo.
I think he said he was a Juggalo.
He kind of turned our world upside down by saying no, they're really, because we mentioned that there's no way Christian bands would play for him because
And then
they're not Christian.
Brian was like, "Hey, listen, they are totally Christian," and they came out as that. And we were like,
blows
"What?" Blows
my mind. So this guy posts a bunch of videos or a bunch of songs that we should
Posted a
look
bunch
up.
of songs.
Yeah. So we are going to make a video about Juggalo songs. We're going to listen to a few of them and
Yeah.
try to find the Christian
Lyrics.
meaning behind them.
Yeah, because he did give us some suggestions of songs that kind of pointed towards that being like their theme, even though it might not be apparent.
Their message is like hate and murder towards people that do evil things. That's the messaging.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a video. We're gonna listen to. Well, not gonna listen to songs on there because we don't want to get copyright.
Oh yeah, we'll listen to them
but-
pre.
And then we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. That's funny.
So see, people who leave comments do have their things
Look at that.
dealt with.
Hint,
Sometimes.
hint.
Yeah, do that.
So a couple of my friends were. Everyone does it, right? You Twitch, you stream your video of you playing video games now. Just
I mean, I
because.
don't, but
well,
you might.
it's pretty popular. A lot of people just do it. You don't have to do anything. Half your games auto stream.
The systems.
Yeah.
Now we'll do them.
So, Sam was playing Grand Theft Auto, and he was posting it, and he got flagged 5 times because Grand Theft Auto has
actual songs.
Actual songs because they have rights to them. So every time he plays Grand Theft Auto,
he has to turn the music
flagged.
off.
Yep. Well, what are you supposed to do? It's
because they pay to have the music in there, so they're not within infringement. But if you try,
but you bought that game, right? So you buy the rights to those songs while playing that game.
Yeah,
right?
that's like a shaky thing. We'll research that and talk about that a different time. That could go on forever.
In a never-ending loop.
Yeah. So we wanted to do an update for the Star Trek thing also because something was handed down for that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they actually. So for those who didn't watch it, it's actually most of you probably have because that video has more views than we have subscribers.
Blows my mind, right? I do not. So
yeah. So this is how little we understand about YouTube. We do videos and we're like, this one's interesting to talk about, but we don't think it's going to do very well. And then we do things that we think are really funny that will do well, and half the time they're just completely backwards.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't understand how YouTube works.
No one thought we did the Star Trek thing because we just wanted to talk about it, and we didn't think anybody would care
at all.
And it's probably one of our most viewed videos.
I mean, it's only been up for like 3 weeks, and it has more views than the majority of videos that we have. Not that that's saying a whole lot, but anyway, if you haven't watched that video, you should. So it's basically there was a Star Trek fan film. It was like $1 million. The budget was like $1 million. They did a crowdfunding thing for it, and it got shut down by what is it? Paramount? I think it's Paramount. Yes. For being their property and whatever else. So they actually came to a settlement where it's allowed to exist. They basically invented rules for fan films.
Okay. Can't
be more than 15 minutes long. Can't cost more than, I think it was $50,000. Let me find that real quick. $50,000 is the cap for fundraising amount of money you can do for it. Can't have Star Trek in the name.
Well, how are you making a Star Trek fan film without having Star Trek in the name?
Because you can still use images. I mean, I don't know. Star Wars fan films don't have it either.
Do they? No?
No.
Oh.
They'll use words that are associated with something like Jedi or Sith or Apprentice or whatever the case may be, but they don't generally use Star Wars as part of the title. And that's probably one of the rules for those fan films.
Okay. Well, so I guess it comes down to, is this a win or is this a loss for fans?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. Paramount, I mean, the fact is my thing with all of these science fiction franchises is that the more material there is generally better.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, back when the books were canon way back in the 90s, 80s, whatever, like it gave so much more information to the universe than the movies ever did. And it's part of what made it so interesting to me. Like those are the only books I used to read when I was a kid. Because it was like, oh, this is a planet that they talked about once, and now we're here, and this is what it looks like, and these are what the people are like. So I think that fan films are kind of an extension of that, where, you know, you're adding to things that didn't exist, and that's interesting. And, you know, the more material, the better. So I think it's bad for people who want to make fan films, but I also think $1 million was too much money to raise for a fan film.
Oh, that's a lot.
So it's kind of like middle ground. It's like Paramount's the one that really wins, right? Because they're basically making sure that no one else can do anything fancy.
Yeah.
Other than them. Star Trek, I think, suffers a little because you have less people adding significant amounts of lore to your universe. Oh, dog, you shouldn't be down here.
Hey, buddy.
So you don't have all of that extra lore that's going in. And I think that it's one of those things where, I mean, the people suffer probably. Yeah. You're capped to 15 minutes. If you have a story that you need to tell in more than a short film timeline, you're in trouble. So
Well, is it 15
hard to
minutes or
say.
two 15 minutes?
So the thing that
I thought originally it said
the thing that
30
someone
minutes,
sent me
two
said that
15
it
segments.
was 15-minute segments, but it may be that they have to break their existing idea in since it was so long into two 15-minute things, which is still not
a lot of time.
a lot of time at all. That's nothing. 30 minutes. I mean, I'd imagine if they raised $1 million for it, their plan was to make it 2 hours long.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So trying to squeeze anything into 30
So what did it have
minutes
to do with
is
that?
like, ugh.
Did it say what it have to do with that money? Because
No, because it wasn't a rule before that. This came in as like
so
the
is this
settlement
like
for it.
grandfathered or like what happens to everything
So
made?
no, I think that I don't know. I think they have to cut it up and make it fit.
Oh,
But the money, like I don't know if they already spent the money. I don't know how the logistics of like sending that money back to people. So
Yeah.
It doesn't say in the article what that is.
that sucks.
But yeah, I don't know. It's an update. I don't know if it's great or bad or wonderful for anything, but it's interesting because Star Wars had like really strict rules in place already. It was like it has to be this,
so
has to be
creative,
this.
and
Like,
so good for Star Wars.
yeah, it's good for everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, it completely depends on.
The actual fan base.
So, I think that it's this settlement is probably bad for Star Trek a little bit, but I don't care. I don't like Star Trek, so. Ooh, shots fired. Brian Francati is gonna have a hernia.
Had a fit. Well, I like it. It's completely different than the Star Wars universe.
That's fine.
And that's a
You're
whole
allowed to
nother
like it.
whole
I
nother
don't
conversation.
hate it. I just don't care for it.
It has everything that Star Wars is missing to me.
You know, the boring stuff that I'm glad they keep out of Star Wars.
The politics.
Star Wars had a little bit of politics. They're called the prequels.
Ugh.
Yep.
Ugh. Gross.
What else are we going to talk about today?
So, this goes back to generations and how lazy.
Is this really
We're getting-
lazy or is this ingenuitive?
I don't know. Who? First of all,
We didn't tell anybody what the Chickza is, so maybe we should do that first.
I feel like you can piece it together.
So, the chick is half, and the za is half.
If you don't know what za is, you're not a human.
Za is a gross way to refer to pizza.
Za.
Would never, ever call pizza za. I feel like that's like a late 90s.
I feel like that's like a Southern California.
But then again, that's also the millennials' fault, I suppose, if it was late 90s, right?
that's right.
So it is a pizza with a chicken crust, fried chicken crust.
No, the whole thing's chicken.
Right, but no.
The base is all chicken.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
it's basically like a very short deep dish pizza, and the crust is made of fried chicken.
No, the whole thing is made of fried chicken.
No, right. The base of a pizza. So if I say pizza,
Yes.
the crust is all of the dough.
Okay, not to me.
Yes.
If
you have a pizza crust, it is the whole thing. And then you put toppings on a
when
pizza
people
crust.
say crust, right? When you're like, I want a stuffed crust pizza, you're not stuffing the whole pizza. You're just stuffing the outer rim, the crust.
Michael,
that is the crust.
if you go to Wegmans and you go to the aisle that has pizza,
Yes.
like like just the crust,
Fine.
it is a pizza crust. It is not.
I'm just
It is
saying-
not. It is not a pizza
I'm
crust
just saying,
with dough.
I wanted to clarify because when you say crust, people will immediately imagine
fine.
the outer rim, and you know I'm right.
The
You know I'm
entire
right.
pizza portion that is generally made of dough, often referred to as a crust, is made of chicken. So there's fried chicken, sauce,
Yep.
cheese,
Oh, green peppers,
pepperoni, and the weirdest choice,
pineapple.
pineapple. Not ham and pineapple. This isn't a Hawaiian Chickza.
Yeah.
It just has pineapple as a default. So if you take away a couple of those things, and what I think it's not as weird is because it's basically chicken parm.
With pineapple.
But that's the weird. If you take off the three toppings,
Yes, it's chicken parm.
it is
You're
chicken
right.
parm. And then if you add pepperoni, it's like that's chicken parm and pepperoni. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And chicken parm and pepperoni and green peppers,
I'm fine with that.
also not bad. Chicken parm
can't get over the
with pineapple
pineapples.
though.
I like Hawaiian pizza. I like a good Hawaiian pizza, but that's weird.
Hawaiian pizza. You're a heathen.
But like,
Pineapples don't go on
the
pizzas.
only reason people are doing this, the double down, Taco Bell just did the
the chicken chalupa or whatever.
chicken. Yeah, it's the shell is made of the chicken, and all it has is the ingredients on the inside. Is because our generation is like, fuck it, let's do it, and they'll try anything.
I guess, but like, what was the double cheeseburger back in the day? I feel like it was the same thing. Like they were like 2 burgers. Like,
No,
what do you mean there are 2 burgers on there? I feel like all of
Big
this
Mac, a third piece of bread.
Yeah, what are you, a weirdo? I feel like all of these things, like a chalupa doesn't exist in the wild. It's not like a Mexican thing that exists. Taco Bell made it.
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of these things where people are like, Mexican pizza.
Oh, Fiestada pizzas are the.
But someone did that and someone was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
And then it just eventually became a thing.
I guess.
So, I mean, I guess it's not that weird. I mean, I don't think so. There's like test markets for everything. Like McDonald's had pizza in the 90s at certain McDonald's. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love their pizza.
Pepsi Blue was a thing that was just like local to the. It wasn't
Pepsi Blue.
nationwide. You remember Pepsi Blue?
No.
It was blue.
That
It was like a
sounds
berry.
disgusting.
It was like a berry Pepsi.
Oh, so it was like a Baja Blast. Or no, no.
But that's a Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Yes, sort of. I feel like you'd remember it if you
I
saw
feel like
it.
if I
I'm
saw
just
it,
gonna have
I'd
to keep
remember it.
bringing up pictures of things for you
You
today.
really have to.
Pepsi Blue. It
Sorry,
was
people on the
basically-
podcast. I
it was
hope you know what it
basically
is.
the same thing as
Oh, okay.
yeah. You remember it? It was like super edgy logo. Look at how sharp it is.
Comes to a point at the bottom.
Yeah. Wow. You don't remember that?
I don't remember it, honestly.
Anyway, I lived in Ohio when this came out. And we would come back to New York and you could get it here, but you couldn't get it there. So it was one of those things like that. And I don't know where it is. So forgive me if you know this and you're like, oh, you idiot, it's here. Some area of New York is like a test market for like drinks and other stuff. So they like put stuff out that no one else is getting to see if it sells well. And then they expand it.
Huh.
This is one of those
I do remember the McDonald's pizza.
McDonald's
They
pizza.
used to have hot
McDonald's
dogs.
had hot dogs. They also had mozzarella sticks at one point.
So
Or
good.
maybe they have mozzarella sticks again.
Maybe.
I feel like in the last couple of years they did again. But
Well,
they did
that's
in the
another
90s
thing
too.
is that there's a lot of people who just, and I know you hate South Park, but
I mean, I don't hate South Park. I just don't care. I just don't care about it either.
everything's
Every-
making a comeback right
Everyone's going to like fill the comment section with like, oh, you don't like anything.
now. Yeah.
You don't like Hawaiian pizza. You don't like South Park. You don't like Star Trek. Yep. You're right. I don't.
He's the Grinch to the group.
I am. I
But
don't even know what we were fucking talking about. Oh, Chickza.
the chick. Yeah. Well, we were talking about how like
Why does this
a
exist?
McDouble was equivalent to
I'm not saying
a
that it was
pineapple
equivalent,
on a fried
but
chicken.
I'm saying like if you were the first person to be like, I'm gonna put 2 burgers on this thing, someone would have been like, why? Why don't you just have 1 hamburger or 2 separate hamburgers?
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't.
Doesn't it seem stupid? Like imagine you were the first guy to ever have a double cheeseburger.
I don't think it's as weird.
Wouldn't you be like, look what I did? And someone's like, why don't you just have 2 burgers? What's the point of putting 2 burgers on 1 burger?
Efficiency.
Why? But you're messing up the things of stuff. I don't know. My brain my brain just like went blank. The proportions of things.
Yeah.
Like there's not the same amount of ketchup to this, to that, to that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think that it was so blasé the first time that happened. I don't think someone was just like, yeah. Or after baking chicken forever, someone deep fried it and they were like deep frying stuff.
Yeah.
Like there are. I'm not saying that the Chickza is a food revolution.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying things happen.
I
guess.
can't compare a McDouble to.
And you're right. It's not a McDouble. Well, a McDouble's stupid. A McDouble doesn't have 2 pieces of cheese. That's the worst sandwich ever made.
That's pretty bad. You have to. That's just so dry.
A double cheeseburger has the right proportions. But
It's just so. What the hell was that?
it was a soda bottle making
Oh.
a poppy sound. That's why they call it pop.
Yeah, but not it's just everything. I wouldn't be surprised if Pepsi execs are like, "Oh, we should really bring the blue back."
I mean, they probably.
They're
will.
everything.
Didn't
Everybody's
they
running
bring
out of
Crys-
ideas,
didn't
so
they-
that's why.
Didn't they bring back Crystal Pepsi for a minute?
Yeah,
you remember Pepsi
hot
Twist?
minute. Yeah, that's still around, isn't it?
No, it can't possibly be. I haven't seen one of
I
those in
really
100
feel
years.
like that's a thing.
Vanilla Pepsi still exists.
Oh yeah,
And,
that's
like,
that's a solid
Cherry
foundation
wild cherry
flavor.
Pepsi and stuff.
Also
but
solid flavor. Well, everyone's running out of ideas, so they're just like, we'll either mash it together and make something kind of new, or we'll just bring back something from the past that everyone forgot was so shitty,
and I guess that
or
brings
was
us
so
back
awesome
to
but cost too much money.
Generation thing again with executives of TV, where it's like, oh, this was a movie once.
Yeah.
Let's make it a TV show. And I guess the same thing where let's make a TV show into a movie, and it's just like
It's awful. How many TV shows that were movies?
Same thing over again.
Training Day.
No, let's go back a little bit because this started a while ago.
Really?
Hawaii Five-0 was. Oh, you're saying movies.
Movies to
movies to TV.
Yeah.
Never mind. So
movies to TV is just kind of starting.
That's true. Training Day. But see, it's mixed in with dumb things like MacGyver. MacGyver was an old TV show that they're making a new TV show.
Yeah.
So Training Day, Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, that's dead already, I think. I'm pretty sure that's dead already.
Good. Those movies are great. And you can't just have anybody play those two characters. No.
I feel like there's more.
There are a bunch more.
Ooh. Dog got the finger.
Yeah. TV shows that were movies? Is that a good way to Google that? List of television programs based on films. This could take a while. I mean, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective did it.
That's a thing?
That was an animated show.
Oh. Man, there's a lot on here that I would have never
Ash
thought.
versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Bates Motel.
Oh, that's right.
So
Netflix.
it did start
yeah,
a
I think
little bit
Netflix
while ago.
too did it too.
Yeah. Westworld.
Yeah.
Blade. I had a live action TV show, I guess.
Weird.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was a movie first.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Fargo. Fargo, that was the other one I was thinking of that I forgot about.
Fargo is one. Legion.
The movie that just came out, or the show?
TV show that just came out.
Oh, everyone's
It's based
raving
on a
about
comic
that.
book.
Well, that's not a movie though, is it?
Well, it's based on a comic book, but there is a movie.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it was called Dominion. Fargo. There's a Flipper TV show apparently. So I guess this is all over the place. Oh, From Dusk Till Dawn got a TV show on. I don't know where it originated, but it's on Netflix. That's where I watched it anyway. I'm looking for more. Oh, Minority Report was on Fox a couple years ago. I don't know if that's still around.
But
that was like one of the first newer ones.
Now you have TV. Also, you have the inverse, where TV shows are becoming movies now. Baywatch
or board games.
Board games. Oh, Battleship.
Spaceballs had an animated series.
Spaceballs did?
It's, according to the Wikipedia.
Wow. Wikipedia's always right. Wizard of Oz has a lot of TV shows. They just came out with one.
Young Indiana Jones was a TV show. This must not be very up to date because it's missing the ones that we mentioned.
All the ones we talked about.
So it is it's a thing. I don't know if it's gonna last. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Because I don't think any of them are very good.
Yeah. It just seems like there's no good ideas out anymore.
Well, it's because there hasn't been anything original. Why do you think that everyone's making such a big deal out of Star Wars?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Star Wars was done, and then they brought it back, and it's just like, oh, well, it's going to make us $1 trillion. Mm-hmm. And when people see that, they're like, oh, maybe we should bring something back, too.
Maybe we should also bring it back.
Star Trek. Let's bring Star Trek back. Technically, Star Trek came back before Star Wars, but...
What was there?
See, that's as much as I know about Star Trek.
Great job.
It came back
before Star Wars.
That's not true.
Might
as well be.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. Thanks.
About
blame you.
Generations being lazy.
I
feel like that's
running out of ideas. Oh, and with the introduction of self-streaming service, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, all making their own shows. Like
but they're so much better.
They're so much better. Yeah, they're absolutely better. But you have to think that it's just saturating the market, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, cable TV did that a long time ago, though, right?
And that's why we're here right now, right?
It's like reality television was the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not 20 years ago, but 10.
Road Rules.
10, 15 years ago?
Road Rules, or is it Real Life?
Real World?
Real World. Real Life.
Real life. True life. Real World.
True Life. Real Life. That came back in early late 90s, right? So it has been 20 years.
I guess you're right. It probably is 20 years old. But, that was one of the first things. And then it was like Survivor. And then a quadrillion
the History Channel is now like nothing but
reality TV.
Reality TV.
The music video channel, MTV.
Is nothing but
VH1, reality TV.
To the point where they had to create a new VH1 called VH1 Classics. And they just replay
when there was actual music to play.
Whatever it is. So I feel like Netflix is going to peak quick and just collapse from ideas.
I don't think so.
No?
I think that people why I think they're doing so well is that Netflix is doing all of the things that people took to networks and they were like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
At least at first.
And they probably have
it's like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of like what the first originals were. House of Cards is a remake of a different show. But
BBC.
Like, I feel like they took things that people shopped around and were like, well, we don't really want to do that. And Netflix was like, we'll do it.
Yeah. We need something. And they're getting ideas that are outside the box that regular networks aren't comfortable with. Or other networks where they're like, well, you really can't go this far. You have to, here's your limit.
So they're like, well, Netflix, forget about that. Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, certainly, that it's going to be. I think that they are going to continue to do that because TV is still so structured, where it's like, like AMC is one of like the few ones that like push the envelope.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, Netflix was starting to like kind of get up. It was like, all right, we'll make a TV show out of a comic book about zombies. Why not? We'll do a show about a meth dealer. Why not? Like they just kept doing things like that. Like, did you ever watch Hell on Wheels?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
so good.
I just watched the last episode of that a couple weeks ago.
It's on Netflix now. I have to watch it.
It's really
but it was weird because I don't know if it had a hiatus or something, but Netflix only had the first half of the season, and it took them like a year to get the second half. So
well, AMC does that. They only make like half seasons and release it, and then they have a huge break. Anyway, but like aside from them, there wasn't a whole lot out there that was like doing. And I guess I hate to call it like edgy TV, but compared to like The Big Bang Theory, and like Moms or whatever the heck else is out there, like that's
you have 15-minute of content or 15-20 minute of content you have to fit in, right?
Yeah. So basically,
Netflix is like, oh, you need 40 minutes this episode. Okay, it's a 40-minute episode.
Yeah,
and then
do whatever you want.
Once an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing is that we back in the day it was like HBO made those shows.
Yeah.
And that was it. If you wanted to show like The Wire or The Shield, was The Shield on FX?
FX
also
pushed it too.
But so HBO was like, if you want to show like The Wire, you have to go to, or Oz, like all of those shows that were like really, really like dark and edgy and violent from like way long ago. It was like, all right, well, it's on HBO because that's the only one we can swing it on. Yep. It's a premium channel. We can do whatever we want there. And then places like AMC and FX started kind of like wiggling in there, and now the Netflix is doing it. It's just like, if you can't sell it to those other guys, Netflix will definitely take it.
It's the beers.
So we'll be candid with you for a minute. We don't really know how to stop this or how long to stop it after.
Well,
because this has been well over a half hour.
Really?
Oh,
it didn't feel that long.
So I don't know what you want to do. We can just keep talking if you want. Be candid with the people.
Be candid.
These are my people.
So I was thinking we can hold off on the last topic. Well, next time we'll talk about the Super Bowl. It'll be a little late. Yeah.
But you didn't miss much anyway.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
All right, we're gonna
in air quotes.
It was if the Patriots were involved, it would have been a great game.
Yeah, I will never watch another Super Bowl with the Patriots in it. I have sworn an oath to myself that is the case.
Good luck, because it's going to happen again.
Well, then I won't watch the Super Bowl. Easy peasy.
But the big talking point was every year it's commercials, right? It's like, what are the commercials going to be? Right? And half the time, so these marketing teams are releasing their 30-second. They're releasing 10, 15-second trailers of their 30-second commercials to
before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, before the Super Bowl.
Why? Why would you ever do that?
Yeah. Yep.
Like half the reason to have a Super Bowl commercial is that you paid a
ton of money.
Yeah, a metric butt ton of money to have 30 seconds of airtime, if that. And when it comes on, I've already seen half of it. Like, I don't care
Yeah, I
about your
don't care.
commercial. Not that I don't know how. Feel like people in our maybe we can call it our generation.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't feel as though I'm very susceptible to marketing
You
in
think
commercials.
that, but even if you don't buy the product, every time you remember the product from a commercial, like that Monkey Doggy Baby commercial with Kickstart, the Mountain Dew drink.
Yeah, I couldn't even have told you what that thing
Really?
was called.
Oh my god, that thing was stuck in my head, and I could.
I mean, I
always
remember
recall.
that awful commercial,
Yeah, it was
but
terrible,
I've never had one of those.
Yeah.
I didn't remember what that drink was called. Boom. In 2 years, I won't remember who did the like. Do I tell my daughter she's gonna be a loser? Like nobody's gonna love her. She's a woman. She's
the
a
Audi
woman, and she'll
commercial's
never be
getting
good.
heat.
But I'm saying, like in 2 years, I'm not gonna remember that was an
Yeah.
Audi commercial. Back when we were kids, I remember in 5th grade.
Yeah.
6th grade, something like that. We had to go and think about, like, part of like we were learning about advertising or something. I don't remember. When we were talking about like you had to go back and think about the Coors Light commercial, and it was like, what do you remember about it? And it was like giant people playing volleyball over the mountains, and like
See,
there's
I
a red
think-
Jeep, and it was like all that stuff sticks
I think
with
that's
you.
a problem. I think
But it doesn't make you want it. It just makes you remember.
But that's different, right? So let's say I come up and I did the same thing. They were talking about. I think it was through the Dare program.
Oh, it definitely was. You're totally right. So it was 5th grade too.
And they go, okay, you need an attorney for a car accident. Who are you going to call? And the first thing that would always come to mind,
454-2020.
2020. Call
So, yeah,
454-2020 because that's
Yeah.
the first thing I'm going to think of.
Yep.
Maybe I'm going to do research, but if I'm in a
Or
pinch
I
and
guess
I
back
need
then it might
somebody,
have been like Jim Shapiro, like
Yeah.
Jim the Hammer Shapiro.
but so you might not.
Or
So
whatever.
the question would be like, oh, you need to buy an energy drink. Maybe it's not for you; it's for someone else. They're like, hey, can you give me an energy drink? I don't care which one it is, and you'll be like, you'll walk by, oh, the Monkey Baby one. I'll grab that one. Maybe it's not for you, targeting you, but let's say in a pinch you need something, and you'll be like, I need a new car. You'll be like, oh, I saw that Audi commercial. It looked really cool. You may not buy it, but it's going to make you second guess, and that's what the
guess.
job of the commercial is.
Maybe that's true. I guess it's just most of the commercials were awful.
Oh, they were so bad.
I
this year.
honestly didn't care about the Super Bowl once like the first quarter was over because it was just like, oh, it's a blowout. So
Well,
I
yeah,
did
checked
something.
out too
Yeah, I
soon.
did something else before, and like while it was still on, so I
Yeah.
heard some of the commercials, saw some of the commercials. Almost all of them were garbage.
Yeah, they were terrible.
And
They were very social justice-y.
some of them were, yeah.
Yeah, 84 Lumber had the people going over, or the mother and daughter trying to get across the border. That shut down their website because you couldn't finish it. You had to finish the rest of it on their website.
Right.
Which really weird commercial for 84 Lumber out of the blue to come up with the money for a Super Bowl commercial.
Maybe they're doing really well this year.
I guess so. Then you have
Or not well enough.
Budweiser's.
Yep.
Aaron B had a
Airbnb. Did
Airbnb.
have one.
had a commercial about diversity. There was a couple. The Audi was the
Women's rights.
women's rights.
Or
I mean,
equal work,
even
equal pay.
Melissa McCarthy was about like the social justice warrior,
Yeah, that's true too. Eco warrior.
eco warrior. So like a lot of them, and it blows. Bold move by Budweiser because their clientele tends to be Republican.
Yeah, but then they had like the buddy, the buddy one to
commercial.
kind of even out
But
their demographic.
by that point, that commercial came on. People are already angry about
the other one.
the immigrant, the inventor of your beer. Calm down.
Yeah.
That
I'm
was the response: was keep your immigrants out of the commercial. I don't want any of your beer.
Well, then you don't want our
Where
beer
do you
because our
want your
beer
beer?
was founded by
And it's
immigrants.
yeah. And the company is from Belgium. Like we did this long research.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think? Look at the way that word is spelled. It's not Budwyser. Like that's not.
Right. Yes.
Like it's like that is a foreign spelled word, guys. Like
So, yeah, when it comes to Super Bowl, I don't know if I want like if you follow me on Facebook, like that's all I post. I don't post personal things. I just post political, social justice things, right? But I don't know if I wanted to watch that during the Super Bowl. And I don't know if it has the impact you want it to have.
And now you know how everyone feels
I know.
about Facebook when you're on Facebook.
Damn it.
Mike's talking about politics again.
Blocked.
But I don't know. It's just like it wasn't enough. And I guess like yeah, some of them were good commercials, some of them were funny, but not like real funny.
No,
I just
there was
I
none
just
that I
remember
laughed
20
about.
years ago it was like
Oh, they were great.
so different.
Bud Wise.
Yeah. Like the "What's Up" commercial, like as dumb as that commercial is, like will stick with me forever.
Yep. I don't know. I
Was there a
what?
Budweiser horse? Why can't I think of what they're called?
No, they retired all of them last year. Last year was the last one.
Why?
I don't know.
Those are classic. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
classic.
you're ruining it.
It
The John Malkovich ones are good. John Malkovich was.
Did
funny.
he? So we watched it on YouTube, and he swore like
Well,
they
they bleeped it out.
you knew exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like it.
I don't know if that. I don't.
I don't remember
I
the
honestly
actual
don't think I
commercial.
saw. I saw that before the Super Bowl. I saw like there's a series of different
Yeah.
ones. So I saw those before, but I don't know. I didn't actually see it during the Super Bowl.
No
so I don't
Doritos.
remember.
Doritos always has a great one. There were none.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of like.
Was there a GoDaddy one?
No.
No, there
GoDaddy.
was. We saw
What?
it.
Oh,
It was like really. It wasn't great. They're
So-
usually better.
there was a lot of like continuations where like you had to. So like the one with Tide. I missed the first part,
Yeah,
and then I'm halfway through. And
The
I'm like,
Gronkowski one.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, where he's like ripping sleeves.
I don't know
off
if that's
his
the
shirts.
best marketing. If it's a story.
Yeah, because it assumes that you are not going to step away from the television for 4 hours. Like depending on where it plays.
Yeah, no offense. I don't care about the commercials. If I catch one, great.
Yeah, like I
But that's my
honestly,
time to go get food and drinks.
Mike's like, hey, let's talk about Super Bowl commercials. And I'm like, I remember like 2. I honestly didn't really watch them. And it's like, it used to be like that was the reason you watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, even if the game was bad, the commercials were good.
Great.
And it's like, that's not really how it
Is anyone?
is anymore.
Well,
They're like, okay,
And this
commercials.
is, like it's been NFL ratings this year have just been terrible. Or just people sick
Rightfully
and
so.
tired
Their
of football.
their product is
product's
bad.
garbage. You could speak to the NBA. It's going to be the same thing. Are you going to want to watch another Cavs and
Yes.
you're going to want to? Oh God, that's right. Gross.
Lived,
Of course you do.
lived in / outside of Cleveland. I do want to see another Cavs final. But you would feel the same way if it were the Bulls.
That's true.
Like, how did you feel in the 90s? Oh, the Bulls went to 6.
Wow, I was watching them. I didn't get to live the euphoria of it because I was still a little young.
Well, I guess. Not that young.
88 was their titles
88.
are. That's when I was born.
Oh, yes. I know when you were
So
born.
their
we were born the
titles
same year.
are 92, 94, 96, right? Mm-hmm. So,
And they had 3 more.
yeah, when Jordan came back.
Right. Which is when you were older.
Did a little bit older, but still,
Anyway,
yeah.
the problem with sports is that there is too much. I don't know. Too much gap between the lowest and the highest. From year to year, like, oh, the Cavs are going to win the East. Oh, well, I mean, I guess the West is a little better. It's like, oh, the Warriors or the Spurs or maybe the Clippers. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like basketball, but I don't follow it religiously.
That's why.
But every year the Patriots are going to win the
Yeah.
AFC East, and
Well, but it's no fault to the leagues though because they have salary caps. You can't just buy people. Mm-hmm. I think Golden State just got lucky in that they have 3 young players that are on their rookie contracts, and they're paying them shit, so they're able to bring in Kevin Durant and pay him a shit ton. But once Curry's contract's up, once Thomas' contract up, what are they going to do? They can't keep them both. Got to dump one. That's going to fundamentally change your team.
I guess you're right, and I guess basketball's always been that way.
Yeah.
Like Bill Russell has 100 million championships. Michael Jordan has a bunch. Kobe has a bunch. Shaq has a bunch. So I guess people stay, like, if you get the right pieces in place, you stay dominant for a long time. And I guess that's what happened with the NFL. Was that if you have a quarterback, if you have a good quarterback, you hold on to him for
play all of them. Next
you hold on to
season.
him for 15 years.
It's Bills fans, by the way. We
Yeah,
play all the
unfortunately.
elite quarterbacks.
Unfortunately,
Next year.
I'm actually wearing that today.
didn't wear mine.
We didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our Bulls one.
yeah, we were very sporty today.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, like, I guess that's the thing, is you just have to get lucky.
Well, it's
like
like-
Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, the Falcons have not been good, but he's been consistently a pretty decent quarterback for a long time. Aaron Rodgers. Like, they just,
I didn't.
If you have, and that's the problem. With
even in the
NFL,
playoffs, I
enough
forgot they were
quarterbacks.
in the playoffs.
Who?
The Falcons.
Really?
They're so quiet this year. I didn't even think about them. But all right. Well, guys, thanks for
gonna be it.
thanks for listening. Oh, someone's
or
sleepy.
watching. I did yawn a little bit.
Yeah, someone's a little tired. Hey, if you have any ideas, you guys want us to hit up on, talk about,
We'll hit them up on
send us a message on Twitter at Got Sidetracked.
You did it.
I did it. I remember.
That's right. At Got Sidetracked.
And what was the hashtag you used?
Hashtag Sidetrack Topics.
Hashtag Sidetrack Topics.
If you'd like to do that.
Yeah.
No one's done it yet, so.
No.
It's only been a thing for like 3 months, guys.
Not hurting our feelings at all.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't care. We don't even care.
Yeah.
So we will.
Catch you next week.
Are we doing? Yeah, we'll talk.
We're gonna
about
do
that.
a short episode.
We'll let you know
next
on
week. Yeah.
Facebook what we're doing.
Oh, that means you have to follow
So
us on
you should
Facebook.
probably follow us on Facebook.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share,
comment,
things, and everything.
Yeah.
All of the above. All right, guys. Take care.
Later.